Molested by older brother. I was molested by my older brother, and I am still haunted by it. When I was about 7 or 8 years old, my older brother, who was at least 16 at the time, took me to the back of my parents' property. There was a dense patch of raspberry thorns growing there, forming a kind of natural tunnel. He told me to crawl underneath it and follow him. At that age, I trusted him. I was too young to understand why I felt uneasy, why something about the situation felt wrong. I followed him into the thorny maze because I did not know I had a choice. The tunnel was tight and dark, the air heavy with the smell of earth and raspberries. My skin was scratched raw by the thorns as I made my way forward, feeling smaller and more trapped with every inch. When we reached a secluded spot, he told me to lie on my back. I did as I was told, even though my heart was pounding in my chest. Then he started touching me, sliding his hands under my underwear, groping me, and eventually fingering me. My memories of that moment are fragmented, like a shattered mirror with pieces missing. I cannot recall if he threatened me or if something else happened, like his mouth being down there, but I remember his voice. He was sweet-talking me, saying things that were meant to soothe and confuse me. I cannot tell you everything he said because I have blocked out so much of it. My mind has buried parts of that day so deeply that I cannot access them, but the parts I do remember are enough to haunt me. I am 24 years old now, and the memories of that day and the years that followed still haunt me. I have been battling depression for years, a shadow that has followed me since I was a child. I started to remember what happened around the age of 10 or 11. Before that, the memories were like a dark blur at the edge of my consciousness. When they came flooding back, they hit me like a tidal wave, overwhelming me with feelings I did not know how to process. I tried everything to push them down: denial, distraction, pretending they were not real. But the truth is impossible to escape. The memories make me feel disgusting and betrayed. They make me question my worth, my safety, and my ability to trust anyone. It took me almost 15 years to muster the courage to tell my mom. I had to get drunk to even start the conversation. When I finally told her, I was shaking, my words coming out in a rush. I had hoped for understanding, for comfort, for validation, but her reaction shattered me all over again. She made excuses for him. She said that because we had moved from the town to a rural area, he must have been bored and was just letting off steam, as if what he did to me was something trivial, something understandable. Her words cut deeper than I ever thought possible. It felt like she was choosing to protect him over acknowledging my pain. My older brother was always a problem. He had a violent streak that the whole family knew about but seemed to tolerate. My other brother once stabbed him in the chest with a pencil, and my sister punched him in the face more than once. Even my mom, who now defends him, grabbed him by the neck and slammed him to the ground when he was 16. He was a source of chaos and pain, and everyone had to deal with him in some way. Yet, despite all this, he has always been her favorite, and that favoritism made everything worse. It felt like he could do no wrong in her eyes, no matter how much harm he caused. The years after the molestation were not any better. He continued to abuse me in other ways, making sure I always felt small and powerless. I would take a shower, and he would barge into the bathroom, claiming he needed to grab the television remote he kept there. This happened multiple times, and every time it left me feeling exposed and violated. He seemed to take pleasure in humiliating me and keeping me on edge. He would punch my thighs until they were bruised, put me in arm bars until I was on the verge of passing out, and mock me when I cried or tried to fight back. The physical abuse was relentless. Hair pulling, name calling, screaming matches, and public embarrassment became a regular part of my life. I grew up feeling like I had a target on my back because of what happened. He always found a way to make me feel worthless, to remind me that I was powerless. It is hard to put all the details into words. There is just so much, too much. Every time I think I have processed it, another memory surfaces, another piece of the puzzle that I had buried deep inside. I feel like I am carrying the weight of all these experiences, and it is suffocating. The scars he left are not just physical. They are emotional, mental, and spiritual. They have shaped the way I see myself and the world around me. Even now as I write this, I feel the echoes of those years. The anger, the sadness, the betrayal. It never really goes away. My mom's defense of him makes it even harder to heal. Knowing that she would rather protect him than acknowledge my pain is a wound that will never fully heal. How do you move forward when the person who is supposed to support you the most refuses to see the truth? How do you heal when your abuser is still a part of your family, still protected by the people who should be protecting you? I have spent years trying to make sense of it all. I have gone to therapy, read self-help books, and tried to find ways to cope. But some days, the weight of it all feels unbearable. I wonder if I will ever truly be free of the past, if I will ever be able to see myself as more than a victim. I want to believe that healing is possible, but it is hard when the people who should have been my allies have become part of the problem. I needed to get this off my chest. I needed to say it out loud, to put it into words, even if those words feel inadequate. To anyone reading this who has been through something similar, you are not alone. You are not to blame, and your pain is valid. Keep speaking your truth, even when it feels like no one is listening. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to heal, and you deserve to know that what happened to you does not define who you are. You are so much more than the pain you have endured.